Act 2, Occupy Serenity. One of the hallmarks of the RCAH is its spaces, places where students, faculty, and friends can interact with each other. One such space is Serenity, a group of offices and study spaces on the second floor of Snyder Hall. In this act, we hear from senior Mark Sleeman as he reflects on some time spent in Serenity during the spring finals of his sophomore year. Here I am with Mark Sleeman. He's a senior in the RCAH, and he's here to talk a little bit about his experience occupying Serenity.
Well, we first occupied Serenity, and only occupied Serenity in the spring of 2010. It started as a small group of people just studying for finals, and it ended up being about, I think it maxed out at 12-ish people. But people would come in and out of Serenity, and we just made it our home for a week.
And homey it was. Mark and his friends did everything they could to make sure they had a comfortable study space for finals.
As it was the last week of school, and we were all still living in the dorms, I had access to my dorm, and I brought a lamp down there to make it more homey, and then I ended up bringing my map that I hung up, and I brought blankets and plants, and I just made it as comfortable as humanly possible to create a nice environment for study.
Now, how many nights did you spend in Serenity?
I'd say it was 4.
And did you spend the whole night there, like you weren't going back to
I'd say maybe the first 2 nights it was going back to my room for like 2 hours of sleep. And then during the day I'd go back to Serenity and maybe take a nap. You know, because I had all my stuff there. Literally my entire room was in Serenity.
So it sounds like this started as you needing a place to study, deciding to make it a little more homey, so you added all these things to the room. How exactly did this grow into a group of 12 people in one tiny study room for days at a time?
I think people were just attracted to the idea that they could always come to Serenity at any hour of the day and find at least 2 or 3 people there, knowing that they would all have the same goal, and that goal would be to get some studying done, get some papers written, and I think people were just drawn to that, and that's why everybody came.
Now, was that the only thing that happened in Serenity? You're making it sound like it was a very serious study environment.
No,
were there other things that were going on that week, or was it more of a study?
I mean, there were definitely hours where there were points where we would all agree, like, this, we are getting things done, and then there were other points where we would just order Jimmy John's and watch, you know, some shows on Netflix or play online video games, and so it wasn't all serious. It definitely we definitely had fun, but I think that mix was good.
Okay, so what was the mood like in Serenity? I mean, was it lively? Was it kind of toned down? Were people freaking out? Like, was it anxious? What were people feeling?
Every one of those things was every one of those things was felt in that room. I mean, I certainly am more of an anxious person, so I'm sure that I contributed that to the room. But there were also, I mean, it was funny. It was lively. It was just a bunch of different things, and each one of those things added more and more to the room, and it was just...
Can you talk about any anecdotes that might illustrate those things?
Well, the big scream would happen at midnight every night, and we would join in and get on that roof that's right next door to to the room, to Serenity, and
so you would all climb out the window.
Yeah, we'd all climb out to the climb out the window and yell, and maybe when it was daytime and it was sunny, we'd just hang out on the roof and just, shoot the shit.
Were you there for the whole week?
We were there for about I'd say until Thursday, until we were kicked out. Which I think happened due in part because we ended up passing out there.
Passing out from substances? From sleep?
Totally from lack of sleep.
You might think with all that craziness, studying would have fallen by the wayside. Mark, for his part, has no regrets.
I did well that finals week because I'd say that was a really great place to get things done.
Do you feel you do good studying in Serenity? Because I've heard a lot of people say that they go specifically seek out Serenity because they feel like they do their best studying there. Do you feel that way?
I do feel that way, and I think it only got better when we added personal touches to it, and it made it more comfortable. And I would definitely hope to see more of those things around there in the future.
There you have it, folks. One student's story of the famed, perhaps even mythic, study room, so affectionately called Serenity.
Don't worry, we'll all float on.